Chemical School online chemistry classes. Today we are going to discuss the new topic. It is metals and non-metals. So before going to the topic, as you know that nearly 118 elements are present in our earth. So each and every element will be having its own property. Based on their character, these elements have been arranged into different groups. So those groups in the periodic table will be having metals, non-metals, metallites and noble gases. As you know that the periodic table is consisting of S block, P block, D block and F block. So S block will be at the left side of the periodic table and P block will be at the right side of the periodic table. D block will be in between S and P blocks and F block will be below to the periodic table. So based on that, S will be left, P will be right. Metals will be at the left corner of the elements like hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, calcium. And if you move on to the right corner in the P block elements, so this P block is consisting of non-metals and noble gas. Nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine. So all these non-metals are present at the P block, that to right corner of the periodic table. And if you come with the last group, 18th group, all those 18th group elements are called as noble gases because they are inert in nature. They are already the stable gases which have octet structure. So let us go in deep. What about the metal? What is the definition of metal? What are the properties which are consisting in the metals? And which type of property is shown by non-metals? It may be physical property or it may be chemical property. Well, electricity. Metals are the elements which are malleable and which are ductile and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Those are called as metals. It may be like the elements which are consisting in the left side of the periodic table. At left corner of the periodic table, that too in the S block. So those are sodium, potassium, we can say number of examples, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum, like that. And the general definition for the non-metals is the elements which are non-ductile and non-malleable, they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. The elements which are bad conductors of heat and electricity and they are non-malleable, non-ductile. Those type of elements are called as non-metals. Even though children, we can give different definition here based on the property. So the metals are the elements which have an ability to lose the electron. By losing, it will form its electrically positive charged particle. The elements which have an ability to lose the electron, by losing, it will form electrically positive charged particles. So those are called as metals. And the elements which are having capacity to gain the electron, by gaining, it is going to form electrically negative charged particle. So those are called as non-metals. So here we can give the example. If a sodium is there, this sodium have an ability to lose electron and it forms electrically positive charged particle. So Na+, this type of elements are called as metals. And the elements which have an ability to gain the electron, they are accepting the electron. By accepting, it will become negative charged particle. For example, if we take iodine, iodine will gain number of electrons to form negative charged particle. Or bromine, we place some iodine, we take bromine minus. So like that, number of examples are there. Okay, let us go with some of the properties. Now we are moving with physical properties of metals. So when you come with the physical properties of metals, so firstly I will go with the first property. It is about hardness or softness. So in this, all the metals, when you come with metal, all the metals are hard in nature. All the metals are hard in nature, and we do have some exceptional cases like sodium and potassium. So why we are taking these as an exceptional case means the sodium and potassium can be cutted through knife easily. They can be cutted through knife easily. They are not so hard. Because of that, the exceptional case for this one is sodium and potassium. And the next property we are going with the density. So here again the density of all the metals are somewhat higher. Okay, they will be having a more weight. Due to that, the metals will be having a higher density. And here also we do have some exceptional cases. So all metals are having high density, but the same exceptional case again, the sodium, potassium, they do have low density. And the third one, it is about the physical state of element, physical states of element. In these states like solids, liquids and gases, different states will be coming. Based on that, almost all the metals are solids in nature. So we will give a simple general definition. Metals are hard solids which will conduct heat and electricity and which are malleable and ductile. So based on that, almost all the metals are hard solids. Okay, and some exceptional cases like mercury, even though gallium and cesium. Cesium and gallium, when they crosses about 25 degrees Celsius, at that time they will become liquid state. And when you come in the mercury like Hg, always at room temperature only it will be in the liquid state. So these three are the exceptional cases, and remaining all the metals are completely solids in nature. And mercury, gallium, cesium will be in liquid state. They will be in liquid state. Then the fourth property, it is about malleability. Malleability means the property of an element when it is hammered continuously, it will form thin sheet. So that property is called as malleability. The property of an element to make into thin sheet by hammering continuously, by beating continuously, that property is called as malleability. So here almost all the metals are malleable in nature. All metals are malleable in nature, and some exceptional cases we can give like sodium and potassium. Okay, so these are the exceptional cases for malleability. Then the next property we are going with ductility. The property of an element by the virtue of which the element can be drawn into thin wires. The element can be stretched into thin wires without losing its own character. That property is called as ductility. The property of an element when it is stretched into thin wires, that property is called as ductility. Okay, so here almost all the metals are ductile in nature. All metals are malleable in nature, which can be formed into thin sheet. All the metals are ductile in nature, which can be formed into thin wires. So here, when you come with the malleability, the most malleable element, they may ask you a question, the most malleable elements, it is again gold, like you can write the symbol Au, gold, then silver, then copper. The most malleable element is here gold, silver and copper. And again the most ductile element, it is again gold, silver and copper. Most ductile element also gold, silver and copper. They may ask you one more question. What is the definition for malleability and which is the most malleable element in malleability? And what is the definition for ductility and which is the most ductile element in metals? Okay. The next property, it is lustrous. So the property of element when it is cutted freshly, it is going to shine. So the property of shiny nature, shiny appearance of an element when it is cutted freshly, that property is called as lustrous property. And here almost all the metals are lustrous in nature. Okay. Then the next property we are having is sonorous. Sonorous means when the property of an element, when it is hit with any other object, it is going to give a ringing sound. For example, your school bell. So whenever it is hit with any other object, what happens there? You are going to get something, a different noise when you beat any wood piece. So the noise of that wood piece will be different. When any metals are heated with any other object, the noise of that it will be different. So that noise we are calling it as ringing sound. So this ringing sound The property of making a ringing sound of an element is called as sonorous. And here all the metals are going to show the property called as sonority or sonorous. We can write it as all metals are sonorous in nature. They are going to give a ringing sound. Then the next property we are going with the conductivity. When you come with the next property, it is conductivity. So this conductivity is nothing but it is a flow of current or heat from one end to other end. So I am giving here all the metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are good conductors of heat and electricity because they are consisting of free electrons, free charged particles. Then the next property, it is about ductility. The next property, it is melting point and boiling point. Melting point and boiling point. So when you come with this one, all the metals are having high melting point and high boiling point. All metals are having high melting point and high boiling point except like gallium and cesium. Except this gallium and cesium. Gallium is having only 30 degrees Celsius. Gallium is having only 30 degrees Celsius and the cesium it is about 28 degrees Celsius. So these are the melting points of gallium and cesium. Even though if you take those elements like gallium and cesium in your palm, because of your body temperature, that gallium and cesium, those metals will melt up in your palm itself. So I said while I was explaining about the physical states of metals, there I mentioned the physical state of all the metals will be solids, but some of the elements, some of the exceptional cases are given there. It is mercury, always it will be in the liquid state, and still two what are given there, gallium and cesium. Okay, in your textbook they won't give like mercury, only mercury they may give, but here we can take these two also as an exceptional cases where gallium and cesium at 30 degrees Celsius, even though in the with our body temperature also it will melt up and it forms a liquid state. Okay, so these are the exceptional cases. First thing what we learned, all the metals are hard in nature except sodium and potassium. Then all the metals are having higher density. Then all metals are just they are going to give malleability property, ductility property, they are going to show lustrous, and they are going to show sonority. They are having sonorous, they are sonorous in nature. Then they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Then they are having high melting point and high boiling point. So these are the physical properties of metals. Yes, now let us go with the physical properties of non-metals. So in this again I have took the same properties which I was explaining for metals here. So the physical properties of non-metals, initially the first property, hardness or softness. As I said, all the metals are hard in nature, but when we come to the physical property of non-metal, all the metals are soft in nature. All the non-metals are soft in nature. Okay, and here we do have some exceptional cases that too mainly for diamond. So diamond, you know that diamond is an allotrope of carbon, where the most strong hard non-metal in the nature. If you are going to write any one more question, the most strong hard non-metal in nature, in the sense we have to go with the diamond. So this is an exceptional case. In place of diamond, we can say if they are asking for an element, it is nothing but carbon. Okay, diamond is an exceptional case of carbon. Diamond is an allotrope of carbon, which is having a most hard non-metal, which is a most hard non-metal. Then when you come to the next one, it is about density. All the non-metals are having less density. They are low. They are having low density. But again, we are going with the exceptional case. It is diamond. So this diamond is having somewhat highest density. Higher density will be present. Then the next property, it is physical state. Almost all non-metals are going to exist in three states. Like it is having solid state, it is also showing liquid state, even though gaseous state also. So nearly 22 non-metals are there. In that 22 non-metals, 10 non-metals are existing in solid state. only one non-metal existing in liquid state and 11 non-metals are going to be existing in gaseous state. They may ask you a question, simple question, which is a non-metal which is existing in liquid state? Only one non-metal which is existing in liquid state, it is bromine. Okay, only one non-metal which is existing in the liquid state, it is bromine. Then the next property, we are going to the next property, it is malleability property. As you know that malleability is nothing but it is a property of an element. When it is hammered, it is going to form a thin sheet. That property is called as malleability. And almost all the non-metals are non-malleable in nature. Almost all the non-metals are non-malleable in nature. Then the next property, it is ductility. Ductility in the sense it is going to form wire. The property of an element by the virtue of which if you stretch it, okay, if you stretch it, that it is going to form a thin wire. That property is called as ductility. And all non-metals are non-ductile in nature. As I said, all metals are malleable and ductile, and here all the non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. But for this ductility, we can give an exceptional case. It is carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is an allotrope of carbon again, and it is going to form a thin wires there. We can form wire. So that property, because of that, carbon is taken as an exceptional case, and remaining all the elements are non-ductile. Remaining all non-metals are non-ductile in nature. Then the next property, we are having lustrous property. When you come with the lustrous, it's nothing but the property of an element to shine, which is giving shiny appearance. That is called as lustrous property. So here, all the non-metals are non-lustrous. They are non-lustrous in nature, but we do have one of the exceptional case here. It is again iodine. Okay, so all non-metals are non-lustrous except iodine. Iodine will give a shiny appearance. Due to that, we have took this as an exceptional case. So when you come with the malleability and ductility, we can give an property of a non-metal here. All the non-metals are non-malleable, non-ductile, but they are brittle. What is this brittle? Brittle is nothing but the elements which can be broken easily, which will be broken into pieces. That property is called as brittle nature. So here, when you hammer it, what happens? If a non-metal is hammered, it is going to make a powder. It will become a pieces. So due to that, we cannot form a thin sheet, so it is non-malleable. Even though we cannot form wire because it will be broken. So due to that, it is non-ductile. Non-metals are non-ductile. Then the next property, we are going to the next property, it is sonorous. Sonorous is nothing but the property of an element to give ringing sound. So here all the non-metals are non-sonorous in nature. Okay, they are not going to give a ringing sound. Due to that, we can say all the non-metals are non-sonorous in nature. And the conductivity, next property is conductivity. So this conductivity is nothing but the flow of current, heat or current from one end to other end. And all the non-metals are bad conductors. They are bad conductors of heat and electricity. But we have an exceptional case, it is graphite. So this graphite is again an allotrope of carbon, where the graphite is consisting of some free electrons because of presence of those free electrons. When you come with the arrangement of a diamond, you will learn in the next chapter, it is carbon and its compounds. There we will discuss about the allotropes of carbon. So in this graphite, because of presence of free electrons, so that free electrons will carry the electricity, heat or electricity from one end to other end. Due to this, the graphite is going to conduct electricity. So we can say graphite is good conductors, but remaining all the non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Then the next property, it is about melting point and boiling point. So this melting point and boiling point, again the non-metals are having low melting point and low boiling point. Low melting point and low boiling point. but again the exceptional case is here diamond. The diamond is having a strong intermolecular attractive forces in between the atoms. So the arrangement will be somewhat stronger. To break those bonds, we need somewhat highest amount of heat energy. Nearly 3500 degrees Celsius is the melting point of diamond. The melting point of diamond is 3500 degrees Celsius. Due to that, this diamond is taken as an exceptional case for melting point and boiling point. And remaining all the non-metals are having low melting point and low boiling point. So these are the physical properties of non-metals. So nothing changed here. When you come with the physical properties, all the properties whatever I have said for metals same, but just the opposite. The character is going to be different when you observe about metals and non-metals. Metals are always hard solids, but non-metals are soft. They are soft in nature. They are existing in three states also. It is in solid state, liquid state, gaseous state. There I given a simple example. It is bromine. It is about bromine. Only one liquid non-metal, which is that it is bromine. Then I was explaining about malleability. Then we said about malleability and ductility. Malleability is a formation of thin sheet. Okay. Ductility is a property of an element to form thin wires. So malleability, all the metals are malleable and all the metals are ductile. But when you come with the non-metals, all non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. Then next property, it is about lustrous. Lustrous in the sense, the property of an element which will give shiny appearance. Okay, when it is cutted freshly, that will give shiny appearance. All metals are lustrous in nature, but all non-metals are non-lustrous. Then all the metals are sonorous, which gives a ringing sound. All non-metals are non-sonorous. All the metals are good conductors because they consisting of free electrons with them, but all the non-metals are bad conductors except the graphite. Then all metals are having higher melting point and higher boiling point, but all non-metals are having low melting point and low boiling point. So here what we have to observe, based on the exceptional cases, always based on the exceptional cases, they are going to give the questions in your board exams. So go through the exceptional cases what I have explained. Still remaining, if any exceptional cases are there, try to write those exceptional cases with the property in your